Podcast. I'm your host this week, Raw, joined as always by the guy in the glasses. Wait, that's me.
Isn't
The
that
other
you?
guy in the glasses. Paul, how are
Hello.
you, Paul? What have you been up to? What have you been doing? How you been?
I'm very well, thanks for asking. I sound a bit tired at the moment because I went out for a Ruby Murray, which is a curry. It's a Nepalese restaurant, but obviously they're intertwined. Bloody good food. Been there before. Didn't disappoint this time. Had a few of the. I wanted. Every time I go into a restaurant, I always make it a priority to like try their local, like country's beer or something. And they had one there, and it just didn't have it. And this is the second time they didn't have it. So I was just like, oh, fuck. It's called a Kimar or something like that. I think the beer's called Kimar. I think that's what it's called. And I was like, right, can I have two of those? Like, obviously, one for me, one for the person I was with. And they were just like, oh, we don't have it. I was like, fuck. This place would be a 10 out of 10. But I have to knock it down to a 9 out of 10 if I was, because you didn't have the beer. They had a Kingfisher and Cobra. And I was like, yeah, I know Cobra. I've drink that shit. And I was like, oh, I have a Kingfisher. But I was like, it's not going off to a great start, is it? But no, the food is fantastic, man. And I had a few beers last night. Watched Obi-Wan with the people with the family, and then I was like, oh, you know what? I feel like watching now. I feel like watching Rogue One. It's like, yeah, I've got an urge to watch it, and I was watching it, and I was like, oh, I forgot how good this film is. It's like a slow build up because I do think there's too many characters in there.
Yeah, there's too many characters and they don't all really get enough time.
Yeah.
It's a good film, but it's a bit overstuffed.
Yeah, so I was like, they could have done with a couple of characters being cut out of it. But yeah, it was I forgot how good it was, especially near the bit of the Seraph where they're just having a proper good old neat dust up. But yeah, man, I've been watched Obi-Wan. I watched the Pistol, the Sex Pistols new TV series on Disney Plus. Really good.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I quite like the Sex Pistols. I think that they're not overrated. I think they're not as good as the bands that were around at that time. They were more image than anything. Well, Malcolm McLaren sort of shaped them into this anti-establishment, and he sort of fed off them. But yeah, it was really good, man. The Clash are a better band, better musicians, but the Sex Pistols sort of embodied that sort of period. Yeah, it was good, man. I've been watching that. So I watched that. I watched a bit more anime. Been catching up on the last few episodes of My Dress Up Darling. Pretty good. Spy Family, really good. And yeah, I've just been streaming, making videos for the YouTube channel. I recently uploaded a video called Red Ninja, which I've always wanted to play, but I didn't have.
I remember when you bought that like 4 or 5 years ago, and you're like, I'm going to do a video on this.
Yeah, ages ago, and then we just never got around to it. And I can't capture those old games, so I had to buy a bit of kit, like a video converter. And it looked like shit. I watched it back. I was like, my God, this is terrible. Because I got a 4K TV, and it's supposed to it's converting the signal from like the old on the Xboxes, old Xbox. What was that? The old what's the plugin called? The bit at the back.
It's got the AV out. I think it was composite, wasn't it?
Composite, and it's converting it into HDMI. And it just looked like, so I was just like, this looks really bad. I still recorded it. I was like, I'm just going to fucking do it, man. I was like, right, this just looks shitty. So I don't know if I'll be continuing doing it. I want to try again. It's a bit fiddly to get it working. So it wouldn't work, and it wouldn't, like, my girl didn't recognize it. So I had to like plug it in and fiddle around with it. Then it wouldn't recognize my controller. So I was like, what the fuck? So I got my Duke out, didn't recognize that. I was like, there's got to be something wrong with this. So I just took it out of port 1 and put it in port 2, and it seemed to work. And I was like, all right, that's weird. So yeah, just doing that. And recently streamed Apex, just literally like 10 minutes before we started this podcast. And I won two matches in a row, which I've never done before. So that's nice. A good way to end the stream. I was like, this is perfect. Perfect way to end the stream. 2 wins in a
Now
row.
I'm leaving the stream.
Yeah, bye. Just,
It's only downhill from here, so I'm getting the hell
yes.
out of here.
I mean, I was like, right, this is a perfect way. Bye. An hour and a half stream, so what? Too long. But yeah, man. So let me relay the question to you, good sir. What have you been up to? What have you been doing with your life? You piece of shit.
Wow, that was uncalled for. It's completely unnecessary.
Sorry, I'm still feeling it from last night, man. There's still the booze in my system.
Well, I started a new job 2 weeks ago, so I've just been kind of settling into that.
Rogue One. Sorry. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's from when we went to the cinema to see it.
Yeah.
And we got the popcorn as well, the metal bucket popcorn.
Oh, you got that. I didn't get that.
I think I've still got that somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started a new job 2 weeks ago, so I've just been kind of getting used to doing all that and commuting across London. So
welcome to the world, man. Welcome to the world. It's lovely.
I haven't really had a lot of time because I'm out of the house from like 7:30 till 6:30 every day.
Can I ask us something, right? Sorry, I'm going to piggyback on what you said about you going to work from, you live in the Croydon area and you're going to Kingston. And recently there's like the Elizabeth line got opened, and it takes you from East London to West. And I was thinking to myself, why have they got that when South London, it's so hard to get to one part of South London to another?
Because nobody cares about South London. We don't even have the underground in most of South London.
We live in Southeast London, right? To get to a further part of Southeast London, we have to go into the city and come back out again, which is dumb. And I was thinking, I was like, why haven't we got like something that connects like Kingston and goes sort of like a circular loop, or even straight through to one side to another, of from southwest London to southeast London? Why don't we have that? We're just so shit. But sorry about that.
Yeah, because nobody cares about South London, unfortunately. So I go into Clapham, and then I have to come from Clapham, so I'm kind of going like that.
Yeah, you're zigzagging. It's a bit of a pain.
It's stupid, and it takes ages, and it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, because of that, I haven't really had much time to do anything. And like the first weekend I had after I started work, I worked for 1 week, and then that weekend we were at MCM on the Saturday, and then I was at a bike show with my brother and my dad on the Sunday, so I had no free time that weekend either, because I was out all day both days.
That's what happens, man.
Last week has been a short week, at least, because of the whole Platinum Jubilee, so didn't have to go in Thursday and Friday, but then I basically had Thursday just to sit around and do nothing, which was nice. And then Friday I went out to lunch with my parents because my mum's birthday's coming up. And then Saturday my brother and his wife and their little boy came around, and we went out for a meal for my mum's birthday. And then now it's Sunday and we're doing this, so I haven't really had much free time to do much, to be honest. So I'm just kind of waiting for everything to settle in and kind of get used to the routine a bit more, so I can actually start doing stuff. So I've just been, what have I been doing? I've been watching some Fruits Basket. I finished season 1 of that.
Isn't that meant to be depressing?
The first season isn't. From what I hear, it gets darker from the second season on. But season 1's just, there's some stuff in it that's like, you can see it hinting at darker stuff, but it's generally like fairly slice of lifey.
Yeah, because
a little bit of supernatural stuff.
I've been wanting to get into that, but because I watched Clanad, and obviously Clanad After Story Clanad is a bit okay, and then After Story is where the real story is. It's so good. But sorry, man.
Yeah, like Fruits Basket has been on my watch list for years, and then like in 2017, I think they did a whole like remake of it, and so I think the original anime adaptation was like the early 2000s, and had Laura Bailey voicing the main character. And they remade it in 2017, and she's voicing the main character again in that version. As far as I know, I've been watching it subbed, but I think she's the English dub for the main character again. So I've just been watching that when I can sort of get an episode in, and then been playing Yakuza 4 because I can play it via xCloud on my Steam Deck, so I can just lie in bed and play it for a bit before bed. because it's the Yakuza games actually play pretty damn well over xCloud. So I've just been doing a bit of that, and then today I had a bit of free time, so I tried to install Ubisoft Connect on my Steam Deck so I could access, because I have Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey on Ubisoft Connect, because this is going to be a whole thing. They're on sale on the Epic Store, so I bought them on there. Like, you know how Ubisoft do their Gold Edition games, where like after all the DLC is out, they do a Gold Edition that just comes with everything. They were on sale on the EGS store like a couple of years back, I think, for like stupid money, like 17 quid or something. So I bought them on there, but you can't actually play them through EGS. You have to download the Ubisoft launcher and play them through that. So I installed that on my Steam Deck today to see if I could get it working, and then installed Odyssey because I'm still not finished that. I'm like halfway through it. And 100 gig later, I managed to get it up and running, and it runs pretty well. It's 720p 30 FPS on medium settings, and it seems to stick to it pretty well. And I don't seem to mind 30 FPS on a handheld for some reason. Yeah, I played that for like 15 minutes before lunch today, so I might do a bit more of that later because I really want to finish that game. It's just I got to a certain point with it where there's a certain point where your next story quests are like 3, 4, 5 levels above you, and it's just I just want to get on with the story. So if I can just play it handheld,
I hate that. I hate that. I hate level capping. Like you can't progress the story because you're too under level.
Yeah,
shit like that. It's really
I really
annoying.
don't like it. That's why I stopped playing it. I was genuinely loving the game. Like literally, I was playing it thinking this is really fucking good, and then I got to that point and I just stopped playing it. So I figure if I can just play it handheld a bit, and just when I've got like 10, 15 minutes, just do a few side quests, and then I'll get my levels up. So I can actually go back and finish it because it is a really good game. It's just the level gating stuff is a bit much at a couple of points. But yeah, that's about all I've been doing really. Just getting used to the work schedule and the commute and everything, and then just trying to fit in a little bit of anime and video games where I can. And also, if anyone's watching on video, I bought a new figurine at MCM last week.
Yeah, can we talk about that? What did you think about MCM? I know we did a video, but I condensed the video down to like 3 minutes. I cut out a lot of shit. There's more of the we recorded a lot more material video.
Don't know if I'd call it material. It was just us complaining about it for 5 minutes each.
I was just like, I couldn't put that in. I was like, people want to see the con. They don't want to see us like whinging about it and sitting there looking all melancholy. I was like, they want to see that. So that's why I sort of decided creatively to cut that all out and just have us
took an executive decision.
Yeah, because I was like, it could have been longer. It could have been like 10 minutes, but most of it is just us sitting down and sort of like complaining about it. There's 7 minutes of me just talking about how disappointed with the event. But now we're on doing the podcast. Let's talk about it a bit more. What was your overall? Because you haven't been there for like 3 years, obviously for COVID, and you didn't go to the one last year in October because it was just straight after the lockdown was lifted. So
I missed it 2 years in a row. The last one I went to was 2019, and then this one I was very excited about going.
Yeah, because I always get excited.
I hadn't been since 2019, and I always like MCM anyway, so I'm always excited when it's coming up. But there just wasn't a great deal going on. Like,
we went on a Saturday, and
we went on a Saturday. It was rammed. Like,
fucking
it's
rammed.
not even like it was empty of people. It was full of people, but there just wasn't much stuff. Like a lot of the big companies were missing. Bandai Namco were there, but we didn't really go in. I think we walked past and we didn't really see anything. I think it was just like a small presence they had there with like maybe 1 or 2 games or something. Square Enix weren't there. All the anime weren't there. Like just all the stuff that we hope to see there just wasn't there.
Yeah, there was a lot more independent sellers. It kind of reminds me of London Anime and Gaming Con. It's a lot more there was no like mainstream the big sponsors and sellers there. Which is fine. I like the LAGC for that particular reason. But when I went to MTM, I kind of wanted a bit more because they've got so much money in them. So rich, they can. You want to be sort of like bedazzled by what's there, and yeah, that's the first time I went there. And I didn't actually buy anything. I don't know if I bought anything last time I went. I might have done, but this time I didn't.
You wanted to spend money this time because you were like, oh, the last few times I haven't really bought much. I'm spending some money today, and I was like, I'm spending some money today as well because I haven't been in a couple of years. And then we both like at the end of the day we're like, don't want to buy anything.
Yeah, I
did buy this.
You need to get rid of some euros, didn't you? So
yeah. Oh no.
You've broken it, have you?
I've knocked Leafa's sword out of her hand, but I did buy this Sinon figure.
Who's that? Simon? Oh, you love SAO.
I mean, do I though?
You've got like 2 figures there of characters. Oh, actually, yeah, they're all from SAO. Jesus. And the spin-off's supposed to be pretty good though, isn't it?
Yeah, the Gun Online Sword Art Alternative is really good. But no, I did used to really like Sword Art Online, and then the Alicization series is awful. Despite that, I still bought a figure of the main character from that arc because I like her design. But yeah, the last 2 seasons of Sword Art have been terrible. And unfortunately, that Sinon figure is also from the Alicization arc. I wanted one of her from the GGO arc, but they seem to be really hard to find. So anyway, yeah, I bought that because there's one stall there that accepts pounds and euros, and they're there every year. And I was just thinking, I had 60 euros like in my wallet for like 3 years, and I was thinking, there's no point like changing that back into pounds because like with the exchange rate and then commission and everything, you'd probably get like 30 quid back. So I just thought I'll hang on to it and I'll wait until I'm at MCO and I can go to that stall and buy something. So I bought that there. So it was effectively free in a weird way where it's actually not free, but it kind of is in that I didn't really have to dip into my bank account.
Yeah.
But yeah, there just wasn't much. I'm glad that stall was there because I finally got rid of my euros, but there just wasn't really much going on. And at its peak, like maybe like 2018, 2019, they had like the entirety of the XL both sides. It was huge. And this time it was like what, 1 or 2 halls on either side.
I think there was 2, one on each side, and they had a cloakroom which took up 1 hall,
an entire hall, which they wouldn't let you sit in.
Sit down. They're like, you can't chill here. You have to go into the con to chill. I was like,
so have you been in there? It's not chill.
Yeah. There goes my camera again.
Technical difficulties, folks. Bear with us.
Yes. Oh, God damn. Right.
And we're back. We need to get new cameras, Paul. These cameras are very, very poor.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a bit of a tightwad or something. And I can understand you because you just got back into work. But me, I'm work full time. I'm just like, that will do. And I see cameras on offer. I'm like, yeah, do I want that? I should. I stream and we record the podcast and we could do more videos with us actually with our reactions and stuff. And then there's us just not wanting to buy a new camera. It's just weird. I just don't know why I don't just go on Amazon and buy one for like a decent Logitech one. I mean, some people like the big YouTubers and streamers and use actual cameras like DSLR ones for like they're like you're looking to spend like 600 on a decent one. You know, they go up to like two grand, and they obviously use that for streaming and to record when they go out. And I was thinking that's a good investment, but I was like, do I really need one? I mean, do I really need it? And I was like, if I had this as a full-time job, then obviously I would invest in it.
If you were making money off of it, you'd invest some of that money back into it.
I would invest. And I was like, it would look cool, better, because we just record on our cameras most of the time. It does look a bit.
A 25 quid USB camera, and if you touch the USB cable, it just dies.
I mean, like we record most of our vlog stuff on our mobile phones. I mean, the camera's pretty good, but it would I think you look a bit more professional if we had the actual camera. But I'm like $1 grand. Do I really need it though? That's the thing, man. The videos do well for what we need. So I don't know, maybe. But yeah, like MCM, a bit disappointing. for me as well. We've been going there for years, man. It's pretty much like not our second home, but it's like we've been there so much. We're so familiar with the place, man. Like it's just like it comes twice a year, so it's better than Christmas. And but
it's Christmas and Easter.
we got friends who don't go there as much as we do, but they do like going there. But now they're like saying no, they don't really want to go because like our friend Dan went there last year and he was really so disappointed that he doesn't want to go back. So I was like, oh yeah, like you had one bad experience. It wasn't like because it was just less there than there were this time, which is surprisingly. And he was just so put off with it. He's just like, I'm not going again, spending like 20 quid, 25 quid on a ticket.
Yeah, that's the thing. You spend 25 quid to get in, and then it's disappointing. You just feel very let down.
The organisation was terrible as well.
The queue, oh my good lord, the queue was just an absolute shambles. I don't know why they do this. Every single year they have a different queuing system. And they've had one or two that work well, but they
have it down. They have it down. They've done it before. Like we've been to kind of where it's just like quick. We've gone in, they've organised it well. Yeah.
We've been there before, and it's literally 10 minutes. Like you get there and you're in 10 minutes. This time it was over an hour.
I was just like, what are they doing? Why did they? I can understand if they're trying to like work it out, but they've done it many times, and this time they were just like, yeah, let's just funnel everyone into this one like narrow entrance. They literally funneled us in there. We all had to like we were getting funneled into the side, and I was just like, what's going on? And then we queued and we went. They did a little zigzag, and then
they gave up on that.
They gave up on that
halfway around the zigzag.
So we were like, all right. So now our people who were in the back of the queue is just cutting through us, and then that created a funnel because we're all trying to get through. It's so shit. But anyway, man, we've spoken enough about that, and I think we got to get on to the news bit because we spent nearly half an hour talking about this. But what's been happening in the world of games and all that shit? And all that
we won't go super deep, but there's one big thing that did happen, so we'll kind of make that our gaming news section. That was you did a video about it, in fact, a reaction video. Sony had a State of Play broadcast a few days ago as recording this, and it was good. It was a good show.
Really good. Last State of Play was absolute dog poo. It was, and
I mean, sometimes they're not good.
Yeah, and I was glad that I decided to watch it and do a reaction video because it was that good. You know, you had the Resident Evil 4 remake, which personally I don't think it needs a remake, but it looks good, so I'm happy. I think it works well. The remasters are good enough. It doesn't really need to be remade, but they've done it. I kind of wish they did Code Veronica instead, but they're remaking probably the best Resident Evil game.
I have a feeling they are going to it's going to be not quite Final Fantasy VII remake level, but kind of like half remake, half reimagining. Because at the end of the trailer, Leon's like talking about how if you could do it again, it could turn out different. And I'm like, are they hinting at like they're going to like do some shenanigans with this? I kind of hope not.
I really hope they don't lose the campiness as well. That's what made the game so funny.
Are they going to do a big robot chasing Leon this time?
Or what was the little guy called? The
Ramon Salazar, was it?
Salazar, that squeaky voice. I was just like,
I'm coming to get you.
Yeah, you throw a knife and
he
grabs his, throw a knife through his hand. Like, oh. So
hopefully they keep the campy elements, but I don't know if they're going to like go full on like robot chase sequence. I still don't even know where the hell that came out.
That just came out of nowhere. But from the looks of the trailer, it's going to be more serious.
It does look like they're going that route.
Yeah.
Which I'm for that mostly, but it needs to have some kind of. It needs to have a bit of the camp. Like if the Krauser QT knife fight isn't in there, which is just like straight up dumb 80s action movie sequence, like at least keep stuff like that in there. That's just like straight out of 80s Hollywood.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It looks good. But I mean, all RE Engine games look good. So they're just phenomenally good-looking, well-performing games.
Yeah,
and it's out in March, so we don't have that long to wait. Like 9 months.
9 months,
unless it gets delayed, which it will probably get delayed because everything's getting delayed.
Yeah, man.
We'll see.
Also, Street Fighter makes a return to Xbox. Obviously, it didn't advertise the fact that it was on Xbox It's a PlayStation Showcase. But pretty much all the games were, apart from Final Fantasy 16, is
And the VR
multi-platform.
stuff.
Yeah, a multi-platformed. Street Fighter 6 is back. Is back on Xbox. You got what else did there? What was the other big one? Yeah,
What did you think of the Street Fighter trailer?
I was like, is this Street Fighter? When I was watching it, it has like a story element to it. Like you move around in the town.
World tour mode.
Yeah,
whatever that is.
I've never seen that, so I was like, I kind of threw me off. I was like, this is Street Fighter, and it was. So, what do you get to custom create a character or something?
It looks like it.
So that might be interesting. You get to choose move sets and stuff. So could be good. Why not?
To see what they do with it. I know some people are confused and they're like, "Is this a 3D Final Fight game? What's going on?" Because obviously, like, it shows like someone's jacket with Mad Gear Gang written on it, which is from Final Fight, and also is also canonically part of Street Fighter. Like some of the characters in the Alpha games were from the Mad Gear Gang, but yeah, I think it looks really good. I'll definitely pick it up and give it a go. I barely played any of Street Fighter 5, to be honest, because I picked it up on PC like really late, and I just couldn't really get into it years after it had come out. But I'll be there for 6. Check that out.
Are you going to get Spider-Man on PC? Because it's come out on PC, which some people weren't happy about. Man, a lot of Sony fans going, "What the hell, man?"
Yeah, a lot of Xbox fans were unhappy when they announced Quantum Break was coming to PC back in 2015 or whatever. It's just console warriors being console warriors, thinking it makes their plastic box less important or something. But
a lot of people were saying, "Oh, well, it's you get the games 3 years later," which is true. But I reckon though, but Sony they're obviously going to put more and more of their games onto PC. I reckon they could be in the future. A lot of their games will be released same day on PC and PlayStation.
I think that's what they're working towards. But they have stuff that they need to kind of go back and revisit and bring to PC. I imagine like the Last of Us remake. I don't think that'll take as long to come to PC as like Spider-Man has. But yeah, I'm excited about that because I bought Spider-Man on PS4 and I was in Japan when it came out, so I kind of missed all the launch hype. And then when I got back, everyone had already finished it and kind of like the discourse had died down a bit.
Really good game.
And I just never got around to playing it for some reason. Then I gave my brother my PS4 when the Series X came out. So it's sitting on the shelf there behind me. But I've got nothing to play it on. So I've been sitting around thinking like, it'd be really nice if it came to PC. Maybe it'll eventually come to PC. And now it is. That's coming in August. They've also said Miles Morales is coming at the end of the year. So both of them are coming over, which is great.
Yeah, good times if you're a PC player. It's good to get in the best now. You're getting all these games coming out on PC.
I'll be interested to see how it runs on the Steam Deck. That'll be quite fun.
It should run pretty well, I hope.
No, it's a PS4 game at its core, so it should be fine.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that. And what else did they have?
They had that.
Stray.
I was going to say, obviously, me being a cat owner, I was just like, I've got to get this. That's on PC, so I was like, I don't know if it's a console exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is also on PS4, so you could play it on that if you didn't.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I haven't touched my PS4 in a while. It's just there in front of me, gathering dust. I should actually. I do want to go. I do wish they put Persona on either Xbox or PC.
There was the state of play. Some good stuff shown there. Some big heavy hitters. It was a good show. Also, they showed some VR stuff, which doesn't really particularly interest me because I'm not planning on buying a PS5, so PSVR 2 isn't really of interest to me. I like VR in general, though. I had a PSVR 1 and I have a Oculus Rift S, so I'm not disparaging the platform. I think VR is good, but that stuff just didn't appeal to me because I'm not going to buy a PSVR 2. And a couple of indies, as we mentioned, Stray, and also Tunic is coming to PlayStation now, which it's been on Xbox for 3 months, I think, something like that. So a short exclusivity window on that. I've only played about 20 minutes of that myself, so
yeah, it was on Game Pass as well. So Oh, good. I don't think it's going to come out on the Sony equivalent. I'm going to have to pay top dollar for that. But,
Yeah. Oh, that's another point actually. Stray is going straight into that. Sony's new subscription at the higher tiers, and also it's coming out next month, so it's coming quite soon. So.
Yeah, I'll probably get it on PC. It's coming out on Steam, I think, so I should get it on there. Just play it on PC. Yeah,
It does look very good.
Yeah.
But anyway, is there any more news you want to go over?
Not gaming news, but look, we're gonna just talk about real world news, not only stories and stuff on the
real
news
for a second.
Yeah. Here in Old Blighty, this little island, it's been Her Royal Highness's Platinum Jubilee. So there's a lot of celebrations going on. I don't really buy into all that bollocks, but it has been, like around where I live, there's people with their bunting up in the high street. There's people celebrate. It is because we've had two bank holidays in a row. Spring bank holiday and the platinum bank holiday, so people been getting their boozy on and having a good time. It's on TV, a lot of people there, a lot of tourists. I think mostly like Americans who like to go and get into all that stuff, but it is a bank holiday and people have just been enjoying it. I don't really get it either. They
had nice weather as well.
Yeah, nice. The nonce wasn't there, so that's all good.
We paid 12 million for
12 million to keep it quiet, which is great. Once the Queen clogs it, I can see like the royal family coming to an end. And to be honest, good. I'm not a big royalist. That thing was in the past, man. Like let's move on. Let's have a republic and have elected leaders. I mean, that's always going to be there in the past. I mean, if I was alive back in that day, I'll probably want to be a knight. It's all sort of good. I like that fantasy stuff, running around on your horse and your sword and all that.
Get your own dragon and everything.
Yeah, mate. It's all good. But it's just here. It's Sunday now when we're recording this, so it's all coming to an end, and everyone will have to go back to work with massive hangovers tomorrow.
Trudging back into work tomorrow.
Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, man, like any stories you want to talk about, or do you want to get straight into it?
Not really. It's just I haven't really noticed it where I live. Nobody's like been putting out bunting or having street parties or anything. A couple of people have like hung a flag out their window, and that's about the extent of it.
Yeah,
I'm happy for the extra bank holiday. I don't particularly like the monarchy myself either. I know people like to say, "Oh, we can't get rid of the monarchy because they're bringing all the tourists," but I think you're kidding yourself if you think they wouldn't still come just to look at the buildings. They'd still come and go, "Oh, there's Buckingham Palace."
People still go to France, even though they beheaded their royal family, and they still go and visit the palaces and castles and all that. So, exactly. I mean, there's
more. What you're saying is behead the royalty. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, why not? There's more to Britain than the royal family, which I'm kind of want people to realise more than.
We've got pork pies, bitter.
You got Cornish pasties. You got fish and chips. The Sunday roast, which is I think is one of the best meals ever come to on a plate. You can't beat a good roast. Even though I don't have like chicken or anything like that, you still can't beat a good roast, mate. You know, the gravy, you got the Yorkshire puddings, you got the carrots, you got all that. The roast potatoes are nice. I love all that shit. But do you like your gravy thick or watery?
It's got to be reasonably thick.
Yeah, I like my.
I don't like it when it's all watery.
I hate it when it's all watery. I think I'm the only one in my family who likes it thick, so they always have to like pour their one in, and then they create what was left. They put more gravy granules in it to make it thicker. So I don't like it. It's like a swimming pool. I'm like, it's got to be thick, you know, not too thick where it's all congealed, but you know, obviously you got to.
It's got to be able to stick to things, not just soak things.
I'm like, get out of here.
Don't want soggy roast potatoes.
Who likes a soggy roast potato? You want it nice and hot and thick, and it's good, man. But I'm glad we're on the same page. But yeah.
If we ever have to make gravy for each other, I'll be on the same page.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to worry about Roz going, "Do you like your gravy thick or watery?" I'd be like, Roz
We'll
likes
have to
it.
come to blows about it.
Yeah, punches. A lot of wars have been started because of that shit. But
Anyway, I
Yeah.
guess we will move on to our main topic, which is
what is our main topic?
we're moving into video game silly season, as we like to call it. What used to be the E3 times, now E3 is no more, sadly. But all the conferences are going to be coming at us thick and fast. I say all. I'm not really sure that what we're getting this year. Jeff Keighley's doing his Summer Game
Summer
Fest
gaming crap again, yeah.
which was very poor last year, which I'm not too enthused about. But the main one we're going to be talking about, which is coming up, it's 1 week from today, but it'll be like, by the time this goes up, it'll be a few days away. And that is the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase on June the 12th at 6 p.m.
6
UK
p.m.
time.
British summertime. I think BST. Does that count? It is that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I never remember what time zone we're in, unless it's actually summer, and then I can say, yeah, summertime. That makes sense.
well, it's supposed to be GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, but never use that anymore. So I don't know what we're talking about this time.
That's our two time zones, either GMT or BST.
Us. Fair enough.
But it just depends on what part of the year we're in. I'm not sure if I think we are into BST now. But anyway.
I think it's still spring. I don't think we're in summer yet.
Yeah, but when do the clocks go back and forward? I don't. Who cares about this?
Oh, it's already. Yeah.
But anyway, the Bethesda Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase is coming up. So we thought we'd have a quick chat about what we'd like to see, maybe what we think we might see, and just have a chat about it, and then we'll
a good
watch
old chinwag
show. We are probably going to do a stream when it's on, so we'll watch it live.
Come and watch it with us.
We probably will do like a reaction where we chat about whatever gets announced as well after the fact.
A reaction video, yeah.
So
we'll talk about it afterwards. Yeah.
So we're really milking this showcase.
Yeah, I mean, like
3 videos out of it.
We'll be streaming it on Twitch, but the video will be uploaded to YouTube, so don't have to worry about that. But yeah, we're gonna milk the shit out of it. But
for content, for the algorithm.
You've got to get that algorithm down. I can't figure out the algorithm. It's one of those things. I'm like, can you tell us, like, so our videos can get more, like, shown them a bit more?
It's a mystery, like how electricity works. No one understands that either.
No one knows.
It's just magic.
It just happens. But yeah, man.
Yeah. So why don't we start off with what you think we might see? What do you reckon?
Games.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I reckon we'll see games, or just Phil Spencer with his shirt off. No, he won't. He'll have
his shirt off.
You have his nerdy shirt on,
to reveal another shirt underneath.
Yeah, he likes his geek shirts, doesn't he? Now,
he likes to tease stuff with them these days. Like came out wearing a Double Fine t-shirt at E3 2019, and then halfway through the stream, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're buying Double Fine." Yeah. People were like, "Aha,
aha!"
See you, Phil Spencer.
Yeah, but I think there's been a rumor going around that they're going to announce the Final Fantasy remake coming to Xbox. It's a rumor. Yeah, they've taken the exclusivity off the PlayStation Store, saying exclusive to console, so that could be coming, which would be good. But to be honest, you didn't like it, so no big deal. So I thought it was good,
I would like to play the Yuffie DLC, so I'll probably end up playing the bloody thing again and complaining about it all over again. But no, I was saying mixed is probably being too fair to it. I was generally fairly negative, but I do think they nailed the characters at the very least.
Yeah, but let's talk about like stuff we want to see instead of complaining about Final Fantasy remake.
I'll be happy if that gets announced, because it's kind of bullshit that it's 2 years and 2 months after it launched on PlayStation and there's still no mention of it coming to Xbox, and it was supposed to be a 1 year exclusivity, which Sony then extended 6 months with the Integrate DLC, and then Epic jumped in and got 6 months as well, which is up the middle of June. So I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now, and I'd be happy to see it happen, because I do think it sucks but it hasn't yet.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to like seeing actual gameplay of games. I'm like, no more trailers, no more teasers. Let's just see something. Because there's so many pies being baked at the moment. You want a taste of some.
So many plates spinning.
You want to see some. So I think they've been saving it for this time, and they've been going on about this event. It's huge. A lot of people will be watching. That's always been like Xbox's thing, is that the downfall. Well, a minor complaint is they show stuff, but you want to see some gameplay and a bit more. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to see like this avowed. I want to see some of that. Man, like it's been talked about. It looks good. It's a bit Skyrim-y. Maybe there'll be like from people talk about a new Fallout being announced, or maybe Fallout New Vegas being a remake being announced, which would be interesting. So yeah, I want to see something from like the Perfect Dark game, because they released that like pre-rendered trailer and it looks pretty good. I want to know where they're taking it. Is it going to be solely like first-person shooter, or are they going to add some platforming? So there's talk about it like might be like a platformer like type of game.
Mirror's Edge like.
But I just want to see something, and I don't know how long the showcase is. It for like an hour or something?
I think it's kind of penciled in for 90 minutes, but they haven't given full runtime, but they're usually somewhere around 90 to 100 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, somewhere around there.
Obviously, I want to see a bit of Starfield. I don't think there's been any gameplay for that, has it? So
no, all we've had is the in-engine trailer from last year,
which looks really good, and it's been delayed.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be out this November.
Been pushed back till next year. Not great. Xbox not really like releasing any like first party games at this in 2002, which is a bit of a shame. So I'm just hoping for something, man. Some dates, some gameplay. I want to see Fable. I want to see that. I mean, there's so many RPGs that Xbox are developing. I just want to see something from it.
And some of them have been in development for quite a while as well, like Fable. This might have been before it was Fable, so maybe it doesn't count, but there were rumours of Playground starting a second studio to make an open world RPG in 2017. And then 2018 is when the rumours that it was Fable started coming out. So at the very least, it's been in development for over 4 years, probably 5. So hopefully they've got something to show. Was it last year they formally announced it? Was it the year before? I can't even remember now.
It was last year,
I think it was. Yeah, because it was kind of like an open secret for a good couple of years. And then they showed that CGI trailer, which at the very least it lets you know they're kind of keeping the tone. But yeah, I want to see something of it.
Good old British humour that they like to, what the game's famous for.
I'm very interested to see how Playground go from open world racing games to open world RPGs, because I know they're effectively two separate studios. Playground, I know why I'm doing this, but they're two separate studios, and they've like that was vaguely sexual, and they've been recruiting like people with expertise in RPGs. So I don't doubt they can't do it, but I'm interested to see how they sort of transition from one to the other. Yeah, I think we might see Fable. Maybe I think there's a chance. Avowed, I think there's a very good chance we see Avowed, because that's been in development since before they were acquired. And they were acquired, 2018, under 2018, I think. XO18 in Mexico, I think, is when they announced they'd been acquired.
Do you reckon they'll make any announcements of any more? I know they're buying Activision, but do you reckon there'll be any more studio acquisitions?
I think they'll probably wait until that's done before trying to bring in anyone else, because when they bring in Activision, I say if and when, they'll have like over 30 internal studios.
A monopoly.
And they've already, they will be very large in terms of like development studios. and they've already kind of made some signal that they're willing to make concessions to get it through. So I think they probably don't want to rock the boat and swallow up anyone else before that goes through. So
Call of Duty will still be multi-platform, I think.
Yeah, they've pretty much said as much,
Mm.
at least in some fashion.
Mm.
Maybe even if it's just Warzone, but I think they'll probably keep the series multi-platform because you kind of Call of Duty's so big that you kind of don't want to risk harming it. I guess like if you suddenly take it away from half the audience, then I don't think that means every single person that would have bought it is going to go and buy an Xbox. Some of them will, some of them won't. So you're going to end up just kind of harming it in some way. But yeah, I think they'll hold off on acquiring anyone for a while. And I think in the future, if they're going to acquire anyone, it would just be smaller studios, like maybe like Asobo, who made Flight Sim for them.
I want if they do, let's bring in some Japanese talent, man. Yeah, let's Xbox has been kind of lax, even though like the Xbox is sold quite well in Japan, which is surprising. Series XS
doing reasonably well.
Yeah, I think I want them because they used to have like games on the 360 of that were Japan, like RPGs, what Japanese studios made, but definitely last gen there was none. This gen I think they're trying to address that and get more sort of Japanese games on the Xbox. And hopefully if they do, once this Activision deal's done, maybe buy a couple of studios in Japan and sort of focus on that market, because if they're making inroads, however small, they should capitalize on that.
Yeah, I agree. But I guess are you going to try and buy established studios and then you're going to kind of say to them, all right, now all your audience is currently on these other platforms, but you're going to have to abandon that? Or do you start up new studios around people that you've worked with before instead?
Well, probably the latter will be a better idea, to be honest with you. I think it would be more interesting in branch out to a new audience instead of like taking established ones and sort of telling them, oh, you only have to make for Xbox now and lose out on like Switch and PlayStation players and all that. So having one like new studios, a couple that primarily focus on the Xbox and PC will be a good idea.
Well, they have some people they've worked with in Japan that are fond of Xbox, like Yukio Futetsuki, who made Panzer Dragoon series at Sega. I think he was basically head of Xbox in Japan at one point. He was a Microsoft employee. Made Phantom Dust to the original Xbox. Made Crimson Dragon for the Xbox One. Maybe set a new studio up around him, or I think he's got a small studio at the moment, Experience Inc. Maybe buy them and just staff them up to be a bigger thing, because they're making quite small games at the moment. Tomonobu Itagaki, who made the Dead or Alive series and the Ninja Gaiden reboots, was a big Xbox fan. That's the reason like the Dead or Alive games were exclusive to Xbox for a while, because he was a big Xbox fan. He's starting up a new studio. Maybe you can kind of throw him some money. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. I think that will be.
Phil Spencer flies over to Japan and starts throwing money.
Throws money.
Yeah, in his face. Yeah.
Here you go, Itagaki-san.
Yeah, with a big suitcase. Throws it and just leaves.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see any acquisition stuff at this showcase. And maybe we will. Maybe they're just going to go, fuck it, we're going to be buying everything. Surprise.
Well, there's another developer that's buying, publisher that's buying everyone, isn't there?
Embracer. Buying everyone.
They're
embracing everybody.
They're buying a lot, man. They've been quietly purchasing a shit ton of studios and IPs.
Still kind of mad they bought Crystal Dynamics. I think they would have been a really good fit for Xbox.
Yeah.
And they're making Perfect Dark for Xbox as well. But yeah, Fable, Avowed, Perfect Dark, I think there's a decent chance we see something from them.
Yeah.
They've all been in dev for like a few years, maybe a couple of years in Perfect Dark's case. Starfield, I mean, we're going to see Starfield gameplay. There's no other time they can show it, because it's supposed to be out first half 2023, so it should be out before next E3 timeframe. Redfall as well. Redfall was supposed to be summer this year. That's got punted into 2023 as well. So I'm guessing
The Indiana Jones game.
Yeah, we could see something from Indiana Jones. I'm kind of hoping we see Wolfenstein 3 announced, because Machine Games, they made Wolfenstein Youngblood with Arcane Leon, and that came out 3 years ago, I think. 2019, I think.
Mm.
And when they announced Indiana Jones, that was said to be very early in development, and that was early 2021, I think they announced that.
Mm.
So they must have been doing something for like a year and a bit, 2 years. So I'm hoping they've got Wolfenstein 3 ready to go, because I really, really like Machine Games' Wolfenstein reboot series. And it'd be very nice if they could announce that and say it's out at the end of this year, and then maybe we'd actually have a first-party game coming this year, because it's been done so far.
Yeah, for acquiring so many studios, you would hope that they would have something out this, well, they were meant to, but
Yeah,
a bit more, the more output for this year. Because they're doing so well in terms of sales, and Game Pass is doing really well. It's a shame that they couldn't take advantage and have some first-party games being released this
keep
year.
the momentum up.
Keep the momentum going, because it's doing so well. It kind of feels like it has sort of the momentum slowed down with the announcement that Starfield's not coming out this year. So not derailed, but put a bit of break on the on the build up, on the hype train.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a bit of a blow, especially when they hadn't. I mean, we're into June now. We're coming up on the halfway point of the year, and they've had no releases this year, which isn't great. I mean, last year they put out a good number of games. It's just some of them weren't exclusive, things like Psychonauts. And then Deathloop was on PlayStation and not Xbox.
Everywhere crazy.
And then Ghostwire Tokyo this year as well. So if they hadn't been money hatted by Sony, then they would have at least had one first-party game this year. But another thing I do think is going to be there is Josh Sawyer from Obsidian. He's been making a smaller game, which is apparently called Pentiment, which is meant to be a medieval non-combat RPG.
Non-combat RPG? What the hell?
Apparently it's like a murder mystery kind of game, but set in like the 1500s or something.
The oldie times.
The oldie times with knights and kings and
I
dragons
like
and dwarves.
I do like that.
And apparently it's meant to be. Apparently he played Disco Elysium and was like, "This is brilliant. I'm going to do this." So it's apparently Disco Elysium
big influence
inspired. And he tweeted the other day. He retweeted the announcement of the Xbox Showcase with the old painting my fingernails emoji. So I think it's a pretty safe call that his game is going to be there. So
I hope so.
Should get at least one thing from Obsidian, but I think Avowed will be there too. And they might have a final trailer for Grounded, because Grounded full release is supposed to be this year at some point. So
it's crazy to think that it's not actually fully released yet, is it? It's been a while out it's been out for a while on its current state, and you think, oh, it's fully released, but it's not. It's still not.
I mean, we played it at XO19 like 2.5 years ago.
We did indeed.
And then we've made a couple of videos on it as well.
Mm.
I've always enjoyed it when we've played it, but it's just, I'm not massively into survival games, but I'm interested to see what story stuff they put into it, because it's Obsidian. There's going to be some kind of story going on.
Mm.
So yeah, Obsidian might be there pretty big. They might have. I feel like Pentiment is almost a lock. Avowed, I feel like there's a good chance we see Avowed, and then Grounded final release trailer I think we'll get as well. So I think that's Obsidian are going to be there in force, I think.
Yeah. What about from Bethesda though? Like, what are we expecting from them? Obviously, like Starfield. Anything else like that they got? I'm kind of thinking maybe something like a Fallout, or maybe even a new Elder Scrolls announcement. Something.
Well, Elder Scrolls 6 has been formally announced in 2018, I think. I don't think they're going to talk any more about Elder Scrolls until Starfield is out. Starfield will for sure be there. I can't imagine it not being there.
I kind of want like a Fallout remake of New Vegas, because that game, like a lot of fans love that game. Excuse me, even though it's so buggy and stuff, but that's kind of like a Bethesda game. I played it
and
a
an
bit.
Obsidian game.
Yeah, an Obsidian game, but I played it and it's pretty good. I didn't finish it, but yeah, a lot of people want to see that. I reckon if they said, "Oh, we're doing a remake of that" or whatever, people would lose their mind. Literally, people would just jump out the window.
It'd be a big deal. But my question is, who would be developing it? Because
someone, I don't know, someone they'll get someone. they got Xbox money now. They got
I mean, they'd have to contract an outside studio to do it, because obviously Bethesda Game Studios are working on Starfield, and then like Bethesda Dallas, I think it is doing Fallout 76. They're still supporting that. So yeah, I'm not sure who'd be making it. People have been speculating there's going to be some kind of Fallout presence at the show.
God, I hope it's not Fallout 76. It's a new map for Fallout 76.
Apparently, now don't take my word for this because I've never played it, but apparently it's actually meant to be pretty good now. Apparently it's terrible.
I don't believe you.
Apparently,
you lie.
Apparently the people that play it really love it. So
yeah, I mean, they've had a chance to
have
work
the time
out
for it.
I mean, like No Man's Sky has had a renaissance, hasn't it? It's apparently it's supposed to be really good now, and I've seen trailers and expansions for it, and it looks really good. But
yeah, I haven't played it since it first released, and it was very bare bones at release.
It's kind of like Sea of Thieves. When that got released, people were shitting on that, and now the player base is pretty big now, and they're putting more content. There's more events and stuff that's going on there. There's currently an event going on now about should we save or destroy Golden Sands Outpost. That's a thing that's happening. I've not really been into playing Sea of Thieves for a while, so I'm a bit not clued up, but that's what's going on now.
Yeah, again, another game we actually have played a fair bit of. We did a good number of videos for Sea of Thieves, but I don't think either of us have gone back in like over a year.
No, I mean,
I drifted away from it.
I kind of do want to just go back on it because the sailing on that is so good, and I just kind of want to go on a little adventure and try it out again. So maybe I'll play it again. I just got to install it because I uninstalled that to make space for other games,
everything,
because it's just games are so huge these days. It just eats up your internal storage. But probably Starfield will probably be like, I don't know how big that's going to be, probably like 80 gig or something like that. I think it's ridiculously bit large.
I don't know. We'll see, because like Skyrim was like on the 360 was like 4 gig or something crazy like that. I don't think Fallout 4 is massive. I think it's like 30 gig or something. I think Starfield will be bigger, but I don't think it's going to be like 100 gig, maybe like 60, 70. But yeah, it's going to take up a fair chunk of hard drive space. But yeah, on the Bethesda side, obviously, we're going to see Starfield from Bethesda Game Studios for sure. I'm pretty sure we'll see Redfall. We need to see Redfall gameplay, because I need to see what that plays like. Someone said it's kind of similar to Borderlands, but with like a kind of gothic vampire.
Yeah, vampires in it. I know. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how it plays. Apparently you can solo it or play in co-op. And it's from Arcane. Arcane make good games. So I wanna see that. Maybe Wolfenstein 3 from Machine Games. I think it's a possibility.
You reckon
Tango Gameworks might have another game, because they've said they've got another game in development.
Do you reckon it'll just be purely like Xbox and Bethesda games, or would there be any third-party announcements?
I think there'll be some third-party stuff, because they always have to have some in there to kind of showcase their partners and stuff. But like Sony literally just had a showcase that was nothing but third party, well, except for like one VR game, I think.
Yeah.
So that stuff is important, and you need to be able to sort of demonstrate to people that you have big third parties coming to the platform, because they get associated with the platform. Like I remember when Final Fantasy 15 was announced at PlayStation's E3, everyone was like, "That's it, it's exclusive." It was at Sony's E3. So no, it's just like a lot of casual people, they see it at one show and just assume it's exclusive to that platform.
That's what they did for State of Play as well. You did have a few people saying, "Oh, Resident Evil 4's exclusive and Street Fighter's exclusive," and that's why on Twitter people were like, "No, it's here. It's been released on other platforms." And they were like, "Oh no, that's not right."
If they were exclusive, it would have said exclusive. Sony don't miss a chance to tell you a game is exclusive to PlayStation. Neither do Xbox, to be fair, but like
they did that thing before in one of the E3s where every game was coming out. Their announcement was like exclusive. I was like, "Oh, that's a bit cringe, that isn't it?"
world premiere.
Yeah, and it was just, and I was just like, "Oh, goddamn Xbox!" Like people like back that generation for Xbox was so bad. Everyone was just shitting on them around what they did, finding it, saying everything was cringe, or making a meme out of it. It's just like, ooh. This time they're doing pretty well. There's still like this. I feel like not a bias, sort of like a tendency to sort of hover more towards PlayStation because of what they did last generation, and a lot of people going on about PlayStation. I see a lot on the internet. People like particular people just saying, "Oh, would you want to hang out with me or have a play or a PlayStation 5?" I was just like, "What?"
That's pretty cringe.
I was like, I don't want to like say what type of people have been doing that, but
I've seen the meme template.
Yeah, and that's like, what? I was like, okay. It's still, I don't know, like a lot of like content creators still sort of push the PlayStation as a thing.
Default.
Like, yeah, just like, oh, there's videos of people reacting to when someone buys them a PlayStation 5 and they're like crying, and I'm just like, I love like hardware, don't get me wrong. I don't, it's not like it's a birth of your child or something like that. And you start crying and go, oh God. And yeah, I get it. It's hard to come by. Some of it's hard to get a PlayStation, even an Xbox is hard to come by. When they get given and then just like make a video of it, and it's just really like, I'm like, oh, come on, man. It's a piece of plastic.
Get some perspective.
Yeah, I mean, like, why are you breaking down and into tears? I don't know if they do that if that's genuine, or it's just to sell the video or to get likes and people's eyes on it. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll when I get like a new bit of like hardware, I'm gonna do.
I'll send you an old Game Boy and you can unbox
I'll
it.
just
Oh my
crying.
God!
Oh, start crying and shit, and just like
finish the video and be like, okay, you gotta hand that back now.
Yeah,
that's actually mine.
I'll be like, oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully, like I think Xbox have a chance to kind of turn a bit of the mindshare conversation around with this upcoming showcase, because they have a lot of stuff in the works, as you mentioned earlier. They just need to kind of deliver on some of it now. Like we've seen lots of reveal trailers and CGI and in-engine stuff. Now we need to see gameplay, and we need dates for some of these games. Obviously, some of them are going to be quite far off.
Yeah, I think that's what most people are thinking. It's just like, you bought all these studios, you've had a lot of games in development for a while, so we know there's stuff there. People just want to see it now, and this is like, I think this is, hopefully they've been waiting for this. They should be waiting for this showcase to basically show everything really and what they got. And a lot of people, it's building up quite a bit of hype. People are interested. I just hope they can deliver. I know that it's not going to satisfy everyone. even if they do a stellar performance, there's always going to be people saying, disappointed or trying to shit on it, no matter what. So, but you can't help those people. That's just how it is. Like,
Well, just got to tune that out and just
Yeah.
focus on having the best show you can. And they've got a lot they could show. The stuff we've all mentioned. There's Contraband as well, which we haven't even mentioned.
Oh yeah.
Which Avalanche are working on.
Yeah.
IOI, makers of Hitman, are supposedly working on a fantasy RPG for Xbox.
Holy
Project
shit.
Dragon.
A
is all
fantasy
it's known as.
RPG. I love those.
Yeah, they've got a new studio in Barcelona. I think they're making that.
Yeah.
So that might be a bit too early. Who knows? There's a new studio called Brass Lion, which is one of the founders is Manvir, who used to work at BioWare. And apparently they're making an anime-style Wu-Tang Clan RPG. So they can announce that. But I mean, they could not announce any new games at this show and still have a really good show just showing gameplay of the stuff they have announced, because there are big games coming. Starfield is going to be big. Avowed is going to be, Obsidian without needing to worry about a budget as such. Hellblade 2, they could show more of. Fable.
They showed some of from Hellblade 2.
They showed a little bit last
That was
Game
all
Awards.
all in-engine gameplay, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Looking good. Yeah.
It looks good, but I'd like to see more of it. It was a very kind of...
I wonder how they're going to do, what angle they're going to take it, because last time it was about her mental health. So how are they going to play it this time? Is it just going to be more of just a straight up action game?
I don't know. I feel like they're going to have to lean into the mental health angle in some way, because that was such a big part of the original game. So they're going to have to at least tie it in some way. But I trust them to see where it's going to go. Hellblade 1 was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have Project Mara as well, which is like a psychological horror experience of some kind.
Yeah, let's talk about a bit of that for a bit. Let's talk about that Project Mara. I'm interested in that because I think that's a part. Like people say that Xbox don't have that Japanese specific games. I feel like they don't have that many horror games. So what's happened to horror games? Like,
yeah, horror games kind of went the indie route for a while. I think we talked about this before when I said because I only played Resident Evil 7 for the first time last year, I think. And I put off playing it for years because it was like, it looks like one of those indie first-person run-away and hide games, which I just got sick of. Like, you had like Penumbra and Amnesia and what was the other one? Outlast. All those kind of smaller scale ones where you just had to run away from things, and I was like,
I didn't know.
Looks like that.
Yeah. Even Alien Isolation did that as well, didn't they?
You
just sort of hid in a locker.
Yeah, but I liked Amnesia, and I really liked Soma, which I think was the same people. But it just seemed to me that horror games just became that. Like that was the only horror game you could get, was an indie first-person runaway and hide game.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like big budget horror's kind of gone away. And then you had Capcom coming back with the Resident Evil remakes of 2 and 3, and then 7 and 8, and kind of, 7 got a bit silly towards the end. 8 I still haven't played yet.
Resident Evil Village is kind of like a mixture of like silly and scary, but I suppose it leans more into more action than, because 7 was so good, man. Obviously that was sort of piggybacking on PT and stuff, like games like that. A lot of people trying to get that vibe because obviously that game got cancelled. And that was great.
That demo, that was just a demo then. It was terrifying.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, like, if they did make a full game, would they be able to keep that suspense up?
Keep up the intensity.
It worked so well because of the setting of being just doing a loop and things changing slightly. And if it was brought out into like, because obviously it's Silent Hill format, but it worked so well. And playing as Norman Reedus, Kojima's got a thing about, he's always got like a crux, doesn't he? Like about actors or something. Once he has a muse You know what I mean? He's like, he had a thing. He's got a big thing from Norman Reedus. I don't know if he likes his look or he likes the actor himself. It's just you might have watched The Walking Dead and go, I'm going to make a game with
It's going
him
to
in
have
it.
that man in it.
That game, because like, and obviously he went from Walking Dead to Death Stranding, which is just with Kojima. Is just, I don't know if he does acid or something, man. Because the guy's he's got
His ideas have got to come from somewhere.
I mean, he's got, and that's another thing is Kojima Studios production's going to do, because there's been talk about them doing an Xbox exclusive game, because obviously they're Death Stranding. A lot of people think like Kojima Productions is a Sony studio. It's not. It's an independent, and he's always talked about he wants to remain independent. He
said he wants to make games for everyone, basically.
So,
but apparently they are making Death Stranding 2 at the moment. Like Norman Reedus pretty much accidentally confirmed that recently. I think the story has been that they're working on 2 games, and one of them's kind of small and experimental. So I'm guessing that's the one they're making for Xbox, because Jeff Grubb has been quite adamant that he's making like a cloud game for Xbox, because he was making a cloud game with Google for Stadia, and then obviously Stadia basically imploded. I say imploded, it just kind of died out like a wet fart because Google really didn't give a shit, and then neither did anyone else, to be fair. But the suggestion is that he took that from Stadia to Microsoft. So yeah, maybe we'll see something of that at the showcase. It'd be interesting. They do need to get Japanese creators on board on the platform. And
yeah, I mean, there was talk of even them reviving like what was that game that Platinum was making for them last gen? Scalebound or them, and even the creator himself, he's like, I'm open for it.
He's like, Hideki Kamiya really wants to make that game.
He's
it was his dream game.
Even tweeted at Xbox, says the ball's in your court. I'm open. We can still do it, which would be good, because it was such a shame that they cancelled that.
I was so excited for that.
Everyone was pretty. I think like if they would have released that and it looked pretty good, it would have sold. Xbox would have sold more units in terms of hardware, because people would have bought it specifically to play a platinum game. And it's a shame. Once that died, I was like, this gen for Xbox is dead, and they just want this to end and get the focus, put all the foundations in for the next gen consoles, which they have done. But it's a shame. I mean, like, I don't think they'll do it, but I would be very happy if they go, oh yeah, and we're bringing back Scalebound. I'll be like, oh damn.
I think it'd have a better chance of surviving now, because Xbox as a division isn't starving for budget, and they don't have to look at something and go, oh, maybe that's not going to work out. We need to cut that to save the money.
Yeah, they're chucking money at everything now, aren't they? So
I'd like to see them try it again, but I'm worried about Platinum these days, because their last few releases have been like either very small games or just not done very well.
Didn't they do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game?
That was years ago. Yeah.
Was it?
They did a Turtles game. They did a Transformers game. They did a Korra game. They did a few licensed games for Activision that didn't do very well. They were just pretty much just banged out to keep the lights on. But their good stuff has always been really good, like Bayonetta and Vanquish. Mad World was good. Anarchy Reigns was good. Astral Chain for Nintendo was good. But the last few things they've done, like they did a remaster of Wonderful 1-on-1 that just died on its ass. And then the last thing they did was just like a side-scrolling shooter. So I'm a bit worried about them. And I don't know if Phil might look at their recent output and go, do you know what, I'm not taking that risk.
I don't know, maybe.
I'd like to see him rebound. Like Bayonetta 3 has been in production for years at this point, and they've shown barely anything of it. So I don't know.
Do you reckon that'll come out on this current Switch, or they'll wait for the new hardware?
Who the hell knows what Nintendo's doing? Like, there was rumors of a Switch Pro for like the last 2 years, and they still haven't announced anything. So
yeah,
that's entirely down to whatever Nintendo decide their timeline is.
Isn't the Xbox Game Pass app available on Switch? And then made some sort of. I might just dreamed that.
Yeah,
I think I've dreamt that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I
There's,
thought there was something on there. I was like, I thought
people were saying it was going to happen, like rumor mongers and insiders were saying, "Oh yeah, Game Pass is coming to Switch." And it's like, no, it's not. And then it didn't, and they were like, "Well, our plans changed." Like, that wasn't going to happen anyway.
plans change.
xCloud, maybe xCloud app on Switch makes some kind of sense. Game Pass is not going to come to Switch because then they have to develop all those games for Switch.
Yeah,
They're not just gonna magically run. So it was always a nonsense claim. Like an xCloud app, I could maybe see that. But one thing I've just noticed that I want to mention that we might well see at the showcase. So you might remember, maybe like a week or two ago, people started talking about GoldenEye out of nowhere. Because apparently a Rare employee unlocked an achievement in GoldenEye. And years back on the 360, Rare were working on a remaster of it. And it was almost finished, but they weren't allowed to release it because whatever agreements needed to be in place didn't get made. And the rumor was that Nintendo had held it up at the 11th hour. People have been talking about it for a while, about whether it would ever see the light of day. A few weeks ago, I think someone unlocked an achievement in it, and people were like, "Oh, it's going to be coming then, surely." I think this year is the 25th anniversary of it, and now someone has uncovered all of the achievements on Xbox Live. So apparently, you can go to the. Let me see if I can bring the web page up. Obviously, you're not going to see it on the thing but I just want to have a quick look at the. Yeah, you can actually go and search for it and find it. And all the achievements for GoldenEye 007 are on there.
The remake is coming. It's going to be on Xbox.
I think it's a fairly safe assumption that that's going to be announced at the showcase.
It could be announced along with Perfect Dark gameplay.
Yeah, could be.
Like, do you know what I mean? They're more similar games. So Perfect Dark was pretty much a
spiritual successor.
Yeah, so hopefully, it's a shame that they didn't do anything with Perfect Dark last gen. Like they kind of like left it to die because it was a launch game for the 360 Zero, and that didn't do particularly well. Well, it didn't do not like it didn't do particularly well. It just wasn't
great.
It wasn't good. Like compared to the original, I don't know what they did with Joanna Dark. They just changed her. They made her American.
I still don't understand why they did that.
What's going on? Like, she went from this posh British accent to being like this punky American with an American dad who had carried around a Magnum. I was just like, so
I'm not sure what happened there.
You're telling me she adopted the accent when she joined the
Carrington Institute?
Yeah.
She suddenly became British.
Yeah, I was just like, and she just looked different. She had red hair, and I don't know what they did with that. But hopefully,
Rare had quite a lot of plans for Perfect Dark. They were working on another one called Perfect Dark Core, which sounded quite interesting. Bits and pieces of that have leaked out. I think Robin Beanland, who used to work at Rare, one of the composers, leaked a load of stuff about it a few years back. And I think they had some cool ideas for it, but just kind of never went anywhere. Maybe because Perfect Dark Zero was kind of a critical flop. But I'm interested to see where the Initiative and Crystal Dynamics can take it. I like Crystal Dynamics as a studio. I know a lot of people shit on the new Tomb Raider games, but I like them. I think they're good games. But yeah, maybe a 1-2 punch of GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to announce like the Gears 6. I wonder if that's going to be announced. They're working on it.
What was Gears 5 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah.
End of 2019. So if they stuck to their usual release cadence, the new one would be out end of this year. But I think they said it's going to be a bit of a longer period because they wanted to work at getting used to getting up to speed on Unreal Engine 5. And the rumor is they're working on a new IP, like a small thing, to kind of get up to speed with UE5. So maybe we'll see that. I don't know what a small thing means. Do they mean like something like Hive Busters where it's like 3-4 hours long, or do they mean a single player game with no MP? Not sure what. Well, the rumors say a smaller project, but I don't know really what the context is for that. So I guess we'll see. They might not announce anything at all. They might announce that. They might just go nuts and announce that and Gear 6. Who knows?
Maybe.
But I'm very interested to see what Gear 6 looks like on UE5 because that team are just incredibly talented. Fantastic technical team.
They're probably going to announce some Halo stuff as well. I'll be surprised if they don't, like maybe a new like co-op or something for the story campaign. Yeah.
Co-op and Forge trailer, maybe.
Yeah, or some DLC.
Because they're supposed to be, I think Co-op and Forge are supposed to be coming in Season 3. So we might get a Season 3 trailer where they show off new MP maps and modes, and then also Co-op and Forge, maybe. But apparently, Certain Affinity are making a Battle Royale mode for the game as well, so maybe they'll show that as well.
Yeah.
The game needs content, so they need to show some stuff.
Yeah, I would be happy if they introduced like some DLC, carry on playing the campaign. So I really liked the campaign. It was good.
Campaign was great.
Yeah, really good.
I'm interested to see what they do with it though, because it's supposed to be a 10-year platform or whatever. Are they going to do like a mini campaign every year or two, or are they going to do like a large campaign every 3 or 4? I'm interested to see what they do with single player content. So yeah, it'd be good if they announce something this year.
Maybe like we'll have some characters to turn up, like Lasky, Captain. Is it Lasky?
Yeah,
Lasky turn up because is he dead? Because you find audio logs. But
well, yeah, all we know is what we hear in the audio logs scattered around. So we don't know if anyone's dead or alive at this point.
I mean, like we come across other Spartans, but they've all been killed or dead. So is John the last one? Is that the thing? Is he gone back to there? Are they doing Star Wars on us and resetting everything? Yeah. There surely there should be some Spartans still around somewhere.
Well, Blue Team are mentioned in some audio logs, but again, we don't know what they're doing. They seem to be off on some other assignment for Dr. Halsey.
Maybe is Locke dead? Because apparently there's rumors that
many people would care.
I don't. Yeah, I'll be like, oh, all right, fair enough, he's dead. It'd be nice to see, like, I would have liked to see like other like that cuts in with Spartans fighting the Spartan killers to see how dangerous they are. And like, obviously them killing, because you just come across audio logs and dead Spartans warning you about these Spartan killers, hunters. And I would have liked to see like them engaging to show how dangerous they are. And, like Chief is just like, obviously silent, not saying much, just watching it. Just like, and like obviously the weapon AI is just like, she was the one commentating on, those guys look dangerous. And
those guys are really scary.
Yeah, and Chief's like, they all die the same way. And just look,
if they bleed, we can kill them.
Pump them full enough of them with bullets, they'll die. Just like, all right, Chief.
Unless there's 2 of them, one on a brute chopper and one on an elevated platform.
Yeah, that was a pain. You couldn't take. I'm glad they didn't attack simultaneously. Otherwise, I would just been like, you know what? Fuck.
I mean, they did if you got them close enough.
Yeah, you had to like fucking kite one away to your. That's what I did. Snipe one and get him to come towards me, and then whittle him down. Because fuck me, their fucking health bars were huge in that. Tough as hell, man. But good challenge though. I liked it.
Yeah, some Halo campaign content would be nice if they want to show that, if they have anything to show. But the way they've been quite slow with pumping out content for the multiplayer makes me think we might not get anything. But we'll see. I think they're having some production challenges at 343. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot they could show. I mentioned Hibiki earlier. Well, I mentioned Tango Gameworks. The director of The Evil Within 2 is working on another game which Shinji Mikami said is the opposite of horror. So what's the opposite of horror? Care Bears game? I'm not sure.
Happiness.
Yeah, a happiness game.
Happy game.
But yeah, there was a big NVIDIA leak like last year, I think, or maybe the year before. a load of games that were supposed to be coming to Nvidia now, and it just kind of outed loads of unannounced games, and some of them are Xbox games, which is why people were assuming Wolfenstein 3 is coming, because there was a Machine Games entry on there called Relic, and there's a lot of like old relics in that game that you find, sort of old technology, so that could fit. And then there was one called Hibiki, which is from Tango Gameworks, and people are assuming that's the John Johannes game. So I mean, they could announce Wolfenstein and have it out this year, because every other Wolfenstein game has been announced and released in the same year. So I'm kind of hoping against hope for that. Maybe see a new Tango Gameworks game. Deathloop will probably make an appearance, because it should be out on Xbox this September. I think they've got a lot of stuff they can show. I think they've got like 50 plus games in development.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we're not like building this up and like have our expectations completely like shattered. But we are excited. I'm just glad that they're doing this big showcase. Obviously, with E3 maybe gone for good, which some people are happy about. I personally think that's a damn shame.
I agree.
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be. It'll be fun, man. Like Xbox don't really do these showcases like Nintendo do. Obviously, Nintendo Direct and PlayStation do State of Play, and Xbox sort of just doesn't do
You get
any.
your one summer showcase and you'll like it, which is why it needs to be good, because it's their only shot all year.
Like, is that a thing there? Was that a conscious decision just to say we're not gonna do these showcases like the others, our competitors do? We're just gonna do one showcase like every other year. I don't know. Maybe because they liked being on E3 and showing all their stuff, because obviously PlayStation pulled out of that and Nintendo don't really have a presence there. So they'll just.
I think Phil Spencer has said he likes, like, he's a fan of E3. I think he's on the ESA board as well.
Yeah,
which is probably more to do with it. But yeah, obviously E3 dying, but they're still going out at typical E3 time. It's always sort of like around the 10th of June. So yeah. I mean, I'd miss, if E3 dies completely, I'll miss it, because it's video game Christmas. So at least someone's trying to keep it alive. And like Jeff Keighley is happy for it to die so he can do his own thing and take it over. But it sucked last year. It was awful.
Summer festival, gaming festival.
Summer Game Fest. Yeah. It was not a replacement for E3.
What the hell?
If he can make it better, then sure, I'm all on board for him to make it better.
What was it though? Like, what did he actually like?
He had a showcase, but it
bad.
just didn't have much in it.
Yeah,
it was a lot of smaller stuff, which is fine. Like smaller games need space as well, but you got to have the big hitters as well. And there was like one or two things that were big. And it was all otherwise smaller stuff, and it wasn't good. And it's a shame, because the Game Awards are pretty good. I don't think Game Awards are amazing, but they're pretty good. They're worth watching. But the Summer Games Fest was not great. So, Jeff, if you're watching, which you won't be, you need to step it up this year.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else you got to say, mate? Or should we call it up?
I think we've covered quite a lot. Again, like, there's a lot they could show, just going via logic, because we know they have a lot in the works. So, yeah, as you said, we don't want to overhype it, but just kind of logically speaking, they should have a good show, because they've got a lot of stuff on the go.
Yeah, and if you want to,
everything's getting hit with delays.
If you want to see our reactions, come and join us on our Twitch channel again with Chums. We'll be live streaming it. Mr. Rawls will be joining me on Discord, and you'll get to see our genuine reactions. And then we'll discuss it in a video after, I suppose, maybe a podcast or just a
showcase post-mortem.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're pretty much done now, aren't we, Mr. Rawls?
I believe so. I think that's about going to do it. We're just excited for it to happen now. It's a week away as of recording this, a few days away as of this going up. So hopefully you guys are excited too. If you are, let us know in the comments below. Let us know what you hope to see or what you think we might see. As always, like and subscribe and all that good stuff to help out the channel. And check out our other content on the channel. Check out our Twitter. Check out Twitch, where Paul is quite frequently live streaming different games. And yeah, all of it is / a game with chums, because we are incredibly consistent and thoughtful and creative with that kind of stuff. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks for the next podcast where Paul will be hosting. Until then, see you, pals.
See you later. Bye.